Hello lovely people, Skylar here, and today I'm going to do a video talking about something that has had a huge impact on my life in hopes of helping people that have also had a problem with this, anxiety. So I wanted to talk about something that's had a huge impact on my life, and I feel like if I made a video talking about it and kind of sharing my story with you, maybe you struggle with the same thing and my words could help you in some way. My entire life, I have struggled with social anxiety since I was very little. It was weird. I always had problems with things that other kids could do that I just couldn't do. Like I hated raising my hand in class, which I know that's a normal thing. That's not necessarily anxiety, but it would make me sick to my stomach to think about having to answer a question out loud. I hated going through the lunchtime. It gave me anxiety to think about having to walk in front of someone, behind someone, people looking at me, trying to grab what I wanted. It stressed me out. But I never really had any kind of there's something actually wrong until my freshman year of high school. I was 14 and I had my first anxiety attack. And I remember my very first anxiety attack very clearly. I was in my math class my freshman year, and I had to answer a question on the board, and I was terrible at math and I was terrified of getting it wrong and everyone laughing at me, and so I just stood up there and just looked at it and I just didn't move. I didn't try and answer it. The teacher was like, Skylar, are you gonna answer a question? Like, if you don't know it, do you need some help? Like, just basically talking to me, because it was normal. It was normal to not get something in math class. You're there to learn it. So if I didn't know it, yeah, I was gonna learn it. But at the time, no. Everybody else knew everything that I didn't know. So I'm standing up there and the teacher's trying to talk to me and I'm not saying anything back, and I'm just staring at the screen or the board. I think we still had whiteboards at that point because it got some kind of electronic boards later on, but I think it was just a whiteboard. But I was just staring at the board, and the kids in class, I remember, were kind of laughing at me. Like, it wasn't like loud laughing, nothing, but you could tell, you know, or at least I could at the time. I don't know if they were actually laughing. I just remember hearing them and saying, these people are laughing at me. It was horrible, and I couldn't breathe, and I could feel it coming on, but I didn't know what was happening. Obviously, I'd never had an anxiety attack. Nobody ever mentioned it. Anxiety just wasn't something that I guess we put into our heads. It's just a worry. It's just worries. You just have worries was basically the whole thought of anxieties. So I thought I was just like dying in this math class, and eventually I got an excuse to go to the bathroom, and I went in the bathroom, and I remember leaning against the wall and just trying to take deep breaths, and I couldn't do it. It's making me like antsy thinking about it, but I was trying to like catch my breath. I was trying to like, you know, calm myself down, and my chest was tightening. I was in pain. I thought, if I don't get out of here like right now, I'm gonna lose it. Like, I had to get out. That was the only thing I remember thinking, was I need to get out, because I was in school. It was like third period. I was there for the rest of the day, and I was in the bathroom, and it was horrible. I ended up going to the nurse. They called my mom. They sent me home, and that was the end of that. And that lasted for a couple hours. I couldn't breathe. It was just horrible, and I didn't know what it was, and I couldn't explain it to anybody. I couldn't explain it to the nurse. I couldn't explain it to my mom. I just said, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. Like, that was all I could say. So I basically, you know, went with, send me home, let me go to sleep so I can feel better, because I thought I was just sick. A lot of my freshman year after that was just spent trying to get help and figure out what was going on, because I didn't understand it. My anxiety put a strain on my relationship with my parents at that time, because I was obviously, the thought is always you're a hormonal teenager, and so whatever you're going through will pass. She's just being dramatic. She's just like, not saying they're saying this, but just that's always the thought process whenever you're younger and you've got issues that people don't understand, is that you are just having teenage emotions. And I knew it wasn't that, obviously, because I was having teenage emotions on top of this. So I was like, it was even worse. I didn't know what was wrong with me, and they didn't know how to help me, because they didn't know what was wrong with me either. And so we were always fighting. Before I figured out it was anxiety, before I ever went to a doctor or anything like that, I just didn't know what was going on. I just thought I was messed up, and I was alone, and I was scared, and I spent all my time in my bedroom. Anxiety brought on a lot of depression for me. I spent days and days in bed because I was scared to get out of bed and go into the world and experience things, and it happened again, and an attack happened. A lot of my friends at the time were not dealing with anxiety. I was the only one that I knew of. I had two really close friends that they didn't get it because they hadn't dealt with it. It was totally understandable why, obviously, they didn't get it, but that made me feel more alone, because I wanted to have the issue of who was I going to ask to the Sadie Hawkins dance instead of don't want this to happen again. Like, where am I going to be next that I can't breathe and I'm stuck and I feel lost and alone and I need out? Like, that was always my worry. I turned down a lot of invites to fun things that I, to this day, still regret. I remember once my friend had asked me to go to the lake with her and her family on a boat, and she texted it to me, and I remember texting back, oh, I'm busy today or something like that, but I was just crying the whole time because I wanted so bad to go, but I didn't want to get stuck on a lake with people that didn't understand it and didn't know what was wrong with me, and it happened. Because I didn't know what the triggers were. I honestly had no idea anything about anxiety. It wasn't taught in school. My anxiety basically took away my teen years. I was, I think, 14 in freshman year, I think that's the age. So when I was 14 years old, I developed my anxiety, and it only spiraled. The very first time I ever had an anxiety attack was probably that October, and so I still had the rest of the next semester and everything. And I just spiraled, and I spent time out of school. I spent many days out of school. Like I said, my parents and I were fighting, so I was fighting. My parents and I were fighting a lot of the time, so I was always locked in my bedroom, away from the world. I said no to everything. I didn't want to do anything with anyone because I was afraid. I missed out on everything high school-wise. They pulled me out of school because it was so bad, like I said, and I missed everything. I didn't graduate with my class because I didn't go to school. If I had ever went back whenever I started to get a handle on things, then I would have been put back in a different grade, and I wasn't willing to do that. I let it define who I was. I didn't do things because I was afraid of what people would think of me because of the anxiety of something had happened. But after about a year and a half of struggling, it was about a year and a half struggling with anxiety and not really understanding it. Maybe less, maybe about a year of struggling and not understanding it. Like, my mom and I were obviously able to find a therapist that was able to help me and figure out what was going on. She helped me with healthy coping mechanisms. I was on a medication for a little while, but I'm not on that anymore because I didn't really find it worked. But there was ways to help when the anxiety got bad that she helped me with. Whenever I was feeling an anxiety attack coming on, there was things that I could do to prevent it. And so I started to feel better. And around that time, whenever the therapist started helping me and whatnot, I actually met Derek on Tumblr, and it was like right around the exact same time. And he had a girlfriend at the time, but he was like my best friend, and I talked to him about everything, and it was so easy to talk to him, and it made it feel so much more normal, the fact that I had met someone that I could speak it to about the things that kept me up at night and that scared me and that I thought made me so very different than everyone around me, but it didn't. Now I know that. At the time I did not know that, but I'm still so thankful for Derek because he definitely helped pull me out of my hole. But with Derek, a couple years later came Chelsea Fum, my best friend. She's been in a couple of my videos, who made me realize that I'm definitely not alone with anxiety, and there are more people out there that have the same problems that I do, and it's not as weird and abnormal that I once thought when I was younger. I guess once I realized that I wasn't the only person that was struggling with these things, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders with an S. Knowing that I'm not insane, and that whenever I just remember, like, I want to hold little Skylar because she just felt so alone and sad, and it was just a really, really hard time in my life. But like I said, I started realizing that I wasn't alone. You're not alone. We aren't alone in this. There's so many people that are struggling with the exact same thing that you're struggling with, and you don't even realize that there's that many people out there that have these problems. Reach out, get help. I didn't know what I was even trying to get help for at the time, but if I could, I would give anything to have gotten help sooner than just even a year later. Like, the things that I missed out on just because I didn't have the help that I needed. So just reach out, get help. There are people that care about you. Talk to the people around you that love you and that you love, your friends, your family, anyone. Just speak to people, because even if they don't get it, if they're really your friends, they'll try to get it. They'll try to understand. They're not gonna think you're weird or strange, and if they do, you don't need to be friends with those kind of people, because that's negative, and you don't want negative people in your life. Reach out, get help. You're not alone. I wasn't alone, and I realize that now. At the time, I wish somebody had told me I wasn't alone. There is so much that you have to offer this world, and your anxiety disorder your anxiety should not keep you from doing it. There's so much to experience. I don't ever personally want to look back and regret on things that I didn't do because of my anxiety. And so I'm gonna do things that bring me joy and that I love, like videoing, even though it does kind of make me nervous. And I know some people probably think it's weird, and that's fine, because I can't control things that other people don't want me to do or want me to do. Because if I love it, I love blogging, and I'm gonna keep writing because it brings me joy. Your anxiety should never keep you from experiencing new things. I don't think I will ever live a life without anxiety, but that doesn't mean I can't live my life with anxiety. Go out, do things. There are so many people that are struggling with the same things that you're struggling with, like me. If you have an anxiety attack, that's okay. They happen. A lot of people, surprisingly, have them, and you don't even know it. It's alright to have one in public. If people think you're weird, it's because they're ignorant to it and they don't know what they're talking about. If they think it's odd that you're having an anxiety attack and they don't get it, that's on them. You are only in control of your life, and if you let fear of what others think control it, then it's not your life. You're living for others, and you don't want to do that. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little kind of chatty conversation about anxiety. I just wanted to kind of tell my story and hopefully help a little bit. I'll probably do more videos like this, updates, maybe, I don't know. But I hope that you guys have a great week, and check the description box for all my social medias. I will talk to you later. Bye. You're not alone in this. Oh, hiccup. I'm here for you. Lots of people are. Reach out, get help. Try and find someone that can help you figure out exactly what you personally need, because it's different for every person, to help you feel better and to help make the attacks go by easier. Make sure to talk to your doctor about it. Talk to your parents, talk to your friends, talk to whoever you have around you that loves you and you love. Your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, your dogs, your cats. There's always going to be people that don't get it and that don't understand, but that does not mean that there are not people that do get it and that do understand and that have been through it. And you are not alone in this. Don't let your anxiety control you. It's done that to me for far too long. I will not let the fear of being afraid keep me from doing things. What is that great quote? I think it's from Cinderella. Don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. It might be from something else, but I know it from Cinderella with Hilary Duff. That's a great movie. I hope that my story has encouraged you to get help, or helped you realize you're not alone, and that there are a lot of people that are going through the exact same thing, and a lot of people actually understand. A lot of people that haven't even been through it get it and understand. They may not get it to the extent of what you're going through, but they understand it's a thing and that it can keep you from doing things. I have so many friends now that don't struggle with anxiety, but are so caring, and it's important to surround yourself around people that care about you and care about your well-being and don't put you down in any way or make you feel small, because that can just trigger it even more. Yeah, so message me if you ever want to talk about it. I'm here for anybody. Comment, like, and subscribe. I think you have to turn on a little bell now to get notifications, so hit the little bell button so you can get more videos like this, updates. Let me know if you want to hear more in depth about it. Maybe more videos about my mental health altogether. Maybe it'll help in some way, I don't know. I think it helped me a lot. It helps to talk about it and to acknowledge that it is a problem and that I do struggle with this. I've started up my YouTube because I've always wanted to do this. I love editing videos. I'm so into technology like that. I love doing it. It excites me. I love learning new stuff and figuring out how to add this here and how to do this there. And I'm gonna do that. Just because I may not be good at it doesn't mean I can't try it. So I hope this has helped you in some way. Check the description box for all my social medias. Go follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. I think I'll have Pinterest in there. You can add me on Snapchat if you want to snap me sometime. I'm definitely going to put my blog, my website in there so you can go and read my blog posts, because I write about stuff like this all the time. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on the little bell. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.